Welcome to Marriage Monday with Jeremiah and Savannah Jennings. The Jennings own Growing Green Landscapes and are very happily married. In this podcast, Jeremiah and Savannah discuss the wins, losses, good times, bad times, and everything in between pertaining to owning a business while maintaining a healthy marriage along the way. We hope you enjoy the show.
What's going on, everybody? Thank you so much for tuning in to episode today here on the Growing Green Podcast. This is your host, Jeremiah Jennings, and I'm super pumped and kind of loud to come to you today on another fresh new episode. I feel like my volume's a little high. Let me turn that down just a tad, and let's see if we can get this thing rolling. But anyway, welcome into the show. Excited to have you here. Excited to be with you to start another week. I'm joined with my wonderful co-host, Savannah. How are you?
I'm good.
Excited to be here.
Always.
Always. You look a little different than, no, you had a cut last week, but you just got your hair cut off.
Oh, yeah. I did.
Full, almost, you got close to a bob. You're playing with it.
I don't understand why you keep saying that. It's
Few more
really
inches.
not.
I
think people that have a bob would be offended because this is not it.
Yeah, possibly. Got your hair cut?
It was a nice little chop.
Yeah.
It's like 8
So
inches.
you did it sooner than you did with Jack this time.
I actually didn't. I didn't because I looked back at pictures. It
Really?
was just over 3 months. Yep.
Well, I thought it was longer than that.
It was not. That's when the little claimy hands just
Start grabbing.
Start grabbing and getting curious.
Yeah.
My hair is always the culprit. So it's got to go.
Um,
Also, I just like, he's in his room and everything now and leaning over the bed in the middle of the night. Sometimes I'd hear him go, like I would like
'cause you
suffocate him with
yeah.
my hair. And I was like, ooh, that's tough. So I got tired of trying to find a clip or a hair tie in the middle of the night just to go in there and give him something. So
Hopefully middle of the night's coming to an end, though.
please, God. Please, God.
Pretty soon. We are rocking and rolling. We're having a good week. Good last couple weeks. We honestly, truly, the Lord has blessed us, blessed you tremendously with an amazing friend group this go around that you didn't really have when we had Jack, and it's made such a big difference. We are in life altering different stages than we were this time around with Jack.
Yeah.
It's not to say you haven't had struggles and all the things. We haven't had struggles, but it's you've done so much better this time around. You've been just had a good support system around you, and the Lord's blessed you to not really get too down on yourself or anything else. We've worked well together.
Yeah,
I feel like.
I think so. It's definitely it's just different. I mean, the first time around, I didn't also have a little Tasmanian devil running around.
Yeah,
that's what we called.
Just keep
Jack.
you occupied.
Yes. But yeah, it's hard to even compare the two because they've just been so drastically different.
And you also just didn't know what you didn't know back then.
Yeah, I mean, I still don't know what I don't know, but there's too many factors that go into play with how different it is, kid versus no kid. I mean, I've got another child now. I didn't then. They're two different human beings. So, I was talking to a friend about that today, that we are in the stage of life where a large percentage of my friends, if they're not pregnant with their first, they're pregnant with their second. So many people we know are having babies. And so to my friends that, that are having their second, it's just talking about how crazy it is. And I guess people that have more than one child know, your kids, I don't know why I had it in my head that Tate would be like a mini Jack, but that is just not, even at 3 months old, that it sounds silly for me to say this, but even at 3 months old, I can tell they are going to be very different. And so I don't know why I really thought that he would just be like a mini Jack. It would be like Jack 2.0, and I would just do everything the same, and that's how we would do it. But that has not proved the case, literally in any form of the word. Tate wears Jack's hand-me-downs. But that's about
it's the closest thing.
that's about as far as you're getting as far as
he doesn't even use the same bottles that Jack used.
Bottles, passies, like tendencies,
attitude,
demeanor. What's his? Oh my gosh, I'm blanking on the term that you would use. Like,
his aura.
No, what would you say? His not his presence, but
I would say his demeanor.
Yeah, I guess his demeanor, but just like all of that, like so different.
Just existing.
Yeah, than Jack is even at that age. So, yeah, it's been fun to kind of learn that and navigate that with Jack running around.
Yeah,
but Jack starts school in
very soon,
1 month.
Yeah,
so that is going to be crazy.
Yeah, and I think we have to do a better job of kind of really savoring the next month, because this is it. This is the start of some. Not to get super sentimental, but it's the start of the next 20 years. Of going to school, and he
will be there 3 days a week for 4 hours. It is very much more a Mother's Day out situation, like preschool, than it is like a school or a daycare. It's not daycare, and it is not a legit school. It's 4 hours a few times a week. But I think he's gonna do very well.
He's gonna love it.
Yeah,
he's gonna love it.
Okay, you're on me about little fidget toys. You're over here playing with this.
It's a skid steer.
Mini skid.
That's a full size.
Looks mini.
Yeah, but it's a full size skid. It's a miniature full size skid.
Cool.
Which I guess technically would still be
a mini.
Yeah, but
yeah,
this is a full size skid in a compact form.
Mini form.
No.
It's mini.
It's one of Jack's toys. It's not a mini skid. Yes, it's been good. It's been a good last couple of weeks, and I'm really happy with where we're at, and we have a lot of work to do. But we are something that I think, just go ahead and warn you guys. And I know that Marriage Mondays are totally different than the rest of the week. It's totally different than business content, and we honestly since we've shifted. So when we started this, you were kind of teeter-tottering on coming into the business when we started this, or at points throughout it. At points throughout it.
Yeah.
That was a thing.
But I think when we started, it was more let's give insight to couples that don't do it, that don't work together, and how to kind of balance, include, communicate, respect each other's careers, essentially.
Yeah, because you were still working
full time.
Yeah. And so we've shifted a lot, right? There was a time where you were gonna work in the business, and then you weren't, and then you still worked, and you worked part-time, and you worked a different job, and then you stayed home. And so y'all have seen, and we've gone through a lot in the last 3 years. And it's shifted more into hey, here's how our family's growing, here's how we're learning, here's how Savannah and I are communicating, here's what we're learning about each other, about parenthood, about just communication, and what that looks like. And we bring some business into it, but not a ton. Our roles are changing. My roles are changing every day in the business as we add more people and try to lead more people. Your roles are changing here. And so we're just navigating that as we go. We're sharing that. And something that I feel we're going to just organically share with you guys a lot over the next couple months is part of a Bible study that we're doing in our small group. We're reading the book.
It's not a Bible study.
It's not a Bible study. It's I wouldn't even know what you call
study.
it. Yeah, it's just a study of a book called The Ruthless Elimination of Hurry
by John Mark Comer.
You may have heard of Practicing the Way. That's his big name book. This one I think is secondary to that, but he was a pastor, and he's still a pastor. He's changed churches, and I don't even know that much about him. But this is an autobiography that he wrote himself, and is essentially talking about how
that's what autobiographies are.
All right, take it away. Tell us about old John Mark.
I just need to throw that in there.
Well, we're gonna sit here and listen to you tell us about John Mark.
I really don't know that much about him. I know that he was a pastor of a megachurch and walked away from that for many reasons.
Yeah, tell us why. Tell us what we're going to get into. You're gonna lead the show from here on out.
Okay. He felt too busy, too hurried, too not stressed, but just It was too much. So he walked away from that, and here we have the book. That's what I have.
That's good.
Yeah. You're welcome.
The silence is deafening.
Is it?
Cool. Well, people, there you go. There's likes to correct me, but can't hear the show. Gotta love it. Ooh, more silence.
People are asleep right now. Or they're just
We're going
gone.
to share about this book that we're going through and what all we're going to be going through. And it, transparently, truthfully, we are 14 pages into this thing and we've done one study on it, and I can already tell you, like, it's going to change our life dramatically. I'm a very big believer that it is.
I'm really anxious to see how you respond to it.
It's not just me; it's both of us. But yeah,
but you. It's much. Why are you making that face? It's much easier for me to implement things like that.
Yeah.
In like my personal stage place in life than it will be for you.
Yeah. So a little history is we're not getting rid of. It's talking about, well, kind of a hurried state, and my good buddy ChatGPT went to it and to get us some definitions of this. I actually did this in our small group, and I just said, here's my prompt for it, and I'll give you some of the answers. And this is going to explain a little bit more of what I'm talking about to give you a basis. And guys, like, we're open, we share faith, and like it or not, we're going to do it. Hopefully it's a good thing for you. Hopefully it sparks some good conversation and good decision making in your home. But we're going to share about it as we go through, because I believe you need to know this, because this is like the thing. This study, what we're going to go through, these principles are literally what America's turning into. It's what the world's turned into, but America is especially, like,
it did make me
sports, youth.
Yeah,
there is just no room for any just rest.
State of being.
Yeah, any rest. And it's very hard for me. Very hard for me. It's going to be very hard because I'm
did you learn today that you have hurry sickness?
No, I don't. No, I don't, because I'm going to tell you why.
Okay.
But
really, because the change in lanes because of the amount of cars?
That's not hurry sickness.
I think it is. They did say that.
Anyway, tell me about the definition of hurried. What does that mean? How does that apply in my life? Approach this with a Christian worldview and pull principles from John Mark Comer's book, Ruthless Elimination of Hurry. So it does some thinking, and it lets me know and spits this out. He says the definition of hurried, just literally the word hurried there. To be hurried is not just be busy. It's to be frantic, distracted, irritable, restless, and unable to be fully present. And that last statement, I think, is the big one that probably will hit a bunch of you between the eyes. You may not be distracted. You may not be irritable. You may be restless, but a lot of you are unable to be fully present.
Yeah, but you typically are, to a degree. You know, and he didn't say, when he talks about the irritability and restlessness, it's not like how you would treat like a random stranger. It's like, when your kids or your spouse,
exactly.
Like, are you easily irritable with them? Like, that's how you know that you are a hurried person at your core, not just a hurried person in a certain situation, like trying to get out the door or whatever. Like,
And so I don't really fall under all of those.
I do. It's fine. I do.
There are times when I'm unable to be fully present. They're 100%. That if of those 5, that's what I would put as my hardest one when I'm in the middle of work or something.
When Frankie was talking about looking past you, like when people are talking to you,
that
was hard for me to think about. He was talking about people, like ways people are in a hurry or like that they aren't fully present with you, and he was talking about how somebody kind of shakes your hand and uses it to like guide them away or like move them past you, or when you're having a conversation with someone but you see them looking over your shoulder or kind of looking over your head. Granted, I wasn't gonna play devil's advocate, but here I can play devil's advocate and say that I do often have to do that with my kids, because like when Jack is running around, I have to watch him. I'm not like hurried to get away from you, but I'm not fully present because I'm watching him. So that was hard for me, because I was like, that's not always because I'm like trying to finish the conversation. Like, I just physically have to like be aware of
Yeah.
him and what's going on, you know?
Yeah, 100%. And so, like, those are all things that all of us struggle with to some extent, especially being entrepreneurs, business owners, things like that. You have kids that are young, old, anywhere in between. They're getting older. You're trying to get them into sports. You're doing gymnastics. You're doing all the things, book clubs, libraries, all that stuff. Hurry is not a disordered schedule. Hurry is a disordered heart, and hurry is a condition of the soul. It's when we live at the speed. It's incompatible with love, peace, and presence of God. Love is what?
Patient.
And that's something, I think one of the best things that we went over is, and you
Yeah.
really should take home to your spouse and think about is relationships are not efficient.
Yeah, that was another one. The whole, like, love is patient. Like, patient is the first. Like, love is patient, love is kind, love is not envy, love is not boast. Like, all of those things in 1 Corinthians where it talks about what love is. The first thing at the top of that list is patient.
Yeah.
And you cannot love well if you're always in a hurry. And you
It's
cannot
physically impossible.
And
It's not compatible.
right, it is incompatible. Love is incompatible with hurry. You cannot be fully present. You cannot listen. You cannot be intentional. You cannot care for, like,
And again,
serve
let me say
if you were
this.
in a hurry. So
We're not saying you can't make it. We're not saying you can't make it and be married. That's not. You can do that, right? There's plenty of people that can make it. You can survive. You can stay married. But your emotional and like the health of your marriage and your relationships
and yourself.
and yourself are not fully deepening and growing and prospering the way they should when you live life like in a hurry.
Yeah. What did I wrote? He did a sermon talking about his book that we watched today, and like took some notes on our phone. And I was trying to, I wrote something. Oh, I don't know if it was him or if he was quoting somebody, but I'm paraphrasing here, like heavily paraphrasing. And he talks about how the main reason that people don't grow, mature, or reach their full potential is because they don't think they have time. They're too busy to grow. They're too busy to grow. They're too busy to put in the time to do the hard things, to invest in themselves to grow.
Yeah.
Mature. And he talks about that, how like we do use the time that we think we have to rest, air quote rest, to a term people like to use nowadays, I don't know if this is too young, is rot. People say, I'm just gonna go home and rot.
It's veg now.
Veg. No,
Yeah.
it was veg. It's now rot.
It's still veg. But
Okay. To do nothing, mindless, right? But then when you get up from that, you don't feel rested.
yeah.
And so it's this contradictory thing where you think that if you do these things, you're going to be more tired, like, reflecting or putting in the work mentally, spiritually, emotionally to better yourself. It is tiring, like it's hard, but the way that you feel on the other side of that is rested, full, improved. That those things do not come from rotting.
Yeah. I think one of the best things that I took away is how this applies to my life. And this is, again, in this chat thread here. This is just proof, like, you can use chat to your advantage in any area of your life, right? Like, it is, use it for good. It's like the internet. People talk about technology. And when I was growing up in high school and middle school, preachers would always talk about, like, be careful with your phones, this, that, and the other. Like, yes, yes, and yes. Be careful with the internet, yes. But you can use the internet for good, right? You can post sermons, you can post videos, you can share the gospel. You can do a lot of things with the internet in a very good way. This is an amazing asset that we have now in our everyday life. Use it for good. This is like personally for me. Do this for yourself. This says how this applies to your life, and this knows, like, the chat knows what I do every day and all day. What do we talk to it about? For you running a growing business, being a husband and a father, leading a podcast, and developing new things, it's incredibly easy to fall into a hurried lifestyle. You're productive, ambitious, and constantly pouring into others, which is something that's a pretty good explanation of what my day-to-day looks like. But hurry creeps in when, and these are 4 things that, like, hits you between the eyes. You feel like you don't have time to stop and pray, which is very 100% true. You're with your kids, but mentally in your inbox. So, like, you're with family, you're together, but you're thinking about replying to somebody or getting back or sending out the next estimate. The third one is you're reactive all day, but you're never reflective. So, you're just reacting to the problems of life, but you don't reflect on anything that actually, like, happens and why it happened or what was the reason behind how it happened. And I would say you could also add in there you're not proactive to anything. You just react. And the fourth one is, like, you measure your day by your output, not what you were obedient to. And so... that was a big firework.
Yeah.
That scared me a little
Happy
bit.
4th.
Yeah.
Sorry, happy Independence Day weekend.
Thank you. That's right. So the danger isn't that you're busy. Jesus was busy all the time. It's just when busyness turns into hurry and your soul starts to dry up.
Yes, that was a big thing that they talked about because he was very careful to not be like, we're not saying that you should, sit around and meditate and like kumbaya, do nothing all the time. Like Jesus was busy, but he was not hurried. There is a difference in doing nothing, but filling your time productively and being wise and a good steward of what you have, your time, your resources, and like being busy.
Yeah.
But you can be busy and not be hurried. It's filling
he always
your
made
schedule.
Time. He was busy. He had a new town to go to. He had a new message to preach. He had new people to go heal. But he always made time for whoever was there.
Yeah.
And
that was the biggest thing that really, really hit me very hard was them saying that you are how you react to interruptions. Like,
yeah.
I don't know if I worded that wrong.
How you react to interruptions shows who you really are.
Yes.
So that's an
how
example.
How you react to an interruption shows who you really are.
Yeah. So example, your kid is sitting there talking to you and keeps saying your name and interrupting you, and if you turn and snap at them, then like, there's your soul. That's
or just like your response working when somebody calls you and you're in the middle of a meeting to ask you a question about how to do X, Y, and Z. Like anything like that. But, and someone that pointed out to us today that I like just a detail that I never paid attention to was that many of Jesus' teachings were as a result of being interrupted. Like, it is very evident, like threaded throughout how he responds to that. Like many of the things that he does are in response to an interruption. And then there's this whole thing that goes on about like, what if he treated us the way we treat our kids when they interrupt us? Or like, how would he respond? Like, what if he responded the way we did when our kids are like, not like nagging us, but, mom, mommy, mom. Because I don't always respond super nice to that one because it's just never ending.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And it is, and it's going to be a fine line there. Like, right? There's a fine line there with human aspects and sin nature of like me, I. Like your kid has to learn it's not always about you. You cannot get what you want whenever you want it every single time, right?
Yeah, I mean, we're not saying that. I think it's more along the lines of, like it even happened tonight. Like I'm just trying to get the house kind of like reset, cleaned up to start the week, and Jack's, Mommy, play with me. Mommy, can you do this? Can you, like, want a snack or wants me to read this book or wants me to do that? And, like, I have so many things that I'm trying to get done. And in my mind, I'm like, well, I have probably X amount of time before Tate gets fussy. And, like, I really want to get all this done and blah, blah, blah. And, that interruption was not him being like, me.
Correct.
That was just like,
it's innocence wanting to play.
Yeah.
Like, wants your attention.
Yes.
And then I called you in the middle of it all.
Sure did.
That was good.
Yeah, that was bedtime, too. That wasn't, like, trying to be productive.
Let's just say we have a lot of work to do on interruptions.
Yeah.
Both of us.
Sure do.
No, that's a feeling. That is something that you work on forever. And until you think about it, like, I can promise you probably haven't thought about it that way.
Yeah.
Unless you've read this book or gone through, like, something similar like this, you probably haven't thought about it that way. And it is like the next time one of your guys calls you out in the field and you're trying to get an estimate out the door, you're on a call, like, how you react to that, again, is who you really are. It shows what's going on in your mind every day.
Yeah.
And that's gonna like this does translate over into business because you take these principles into your employees and you lead people this way. Like people are gonna come work for you. They're gonna come stay with you. Like you value them as humans.
Yeah.
You're outpouring like you are being a good leader if you take these principles and follow it. And so I think that a lot of it is going to be moving forward is us reevaluate or just really honestly evaluating where our time goes, how do we spend it, and when we are spending it, is it together, is it separate? When it is together, is it intentional? Is it just mindless, again, vegging, scrolling, what is it? Are you creating? And even, it's going to make me slow down a little bit. It's going to make me stop and say, okay, like maybe we just take a break. Yeah.
And it's like, part of it is not just slowing down because he talked about that, like the hours in the day thing, but also just really doing some inventory of your life and like removing some unnecessary things. Like, what do you really need to be doing, and what are you just doing to fill your time? Mm-hmm. And what does that look like realistically wise, for us? So, yeah.
Lots to do. Lots of good stuff's going to come from it. And I will say this, like if you think you struggle with resting, you struggle with just taking time and chilling, because I do. I think we all do to some extent. Like I said, just don't forget. God rested. Rested on the seventh day of creation. I don't think it's wrong to say you should rest. Because if you say you don't need rest, then you're saying you are better than God. And, well, that's a tough one. It's going to be a tough one to explain down the road. So, hopefully, I know it's a little off track, a little heavy today, but I'm just going to be honest. We're going to share a lot of this because I'm telling you it's really going to affect our life, I think, the way that we operate day to day. And so it's going to affect us in a good way. I'm 100% positive of that, and I'm excited for it because we got some big decisions to make coming up, big things ahead, and I'm excited just to continue navigating it with you.
Okay, well, one other thing that kind of goes along with the whole rest thing that he talked about that we haven't even talked about, I don't know your thoughts on that, was when he kind of went into the whole, like, reaching your potential but accepting your limitations.
Yeah. Like you do have a limitation.
I think that goes along with, like, the needing rest. Like, at the end of the day, we're all human beings and physical bodies that are not perfect. Like, there are actual physical, mental, emotional, like, limitations. And I think in order for us to reach our full potential, we have to accept those limitations. Because if you can't accept that and you just go, and you're, you try to fight that, then you will not excel to your fullest potential if you cannot accept limitations and work with that, And he talked about that as far as the whole, like, resting and always being in a state of hurry and trying to press forward is like, you're not going to reach that if you cannot accept the fact that you do have limitations that you have to respect.
Yeah. Yeah, you cannot sit there and just keep going and pushing and overdoing.
Right.
Because again, you're gonna have negative tolls. Like, we have friends and mentors that have kids that are teenagers and they've gone through all of this, and they're like, I was sitting there at home one day and was working, and kid came in and asked, what did you work yesterday? And again, it goes back to the interruption thing. He's sitting there working at the table. He's putting in notes, and son walks in and interrupts him, and so he's talking, entering notes, voice text, and son walks in, interrupts him, and he, what, like, just, I'm in the middle of something. It's a teenager, it's not a toddler, right? So, what do you need? What's up? And kid walks in and just, what'd you work yesterday? And this was his off day, right? This was his off day. Keep that in mind. Walked in, what'd you work yesterday? I got to work at 6. When did you get home? Got 6 or 7, I don't know, 6:30. And he was like, oh, okay. And Dad was like, why? Like, what's up? Why? And he was like, I just want to see if you'd want to hang out with me. And that was on his off day. And so he'd worked 12 hours, 13 hours the day before, and was then sitting there doing all that on his off day, and was snippy when he got interrupted, and just made you stop and be like, you know what? All right, we're going to pause. And he just shut the computer, and they hung out the rest of the day. And it's like, guess what? The world kept moving. The world kept spinning. And so you got to make sure and just realize that, like, your family will take a toll. Like, your kids will pick up on it. Your spouse will it'll take a negative effect on your relationship with your spouse. And so just make these decisions early, guys, especially if you have young kids, even if you don't have young kids. And I'm talking out of context in the sense of, like, we don't have old kids yet, but I know we will. And so we're trying to make these decisions early. That way, when we get there, we are attempting to fire on all cylinders. But, yeah, that's all I got. You want to add anything?
I think we're good.
That's a good foundation. So you're going to hear a lot more of that as we go. We're going to share our kind of what we're learning and things. But not a ton's changing. Just, diving into, like I said, what we're passionate about. And this is what we're passionate about, growing our family, growing our own, like I said, our own future, creating our own path with the Lord's help along the way. So we thank you. We appreciate you. Next week's going to be a great show. It's going to be awesome. We're going to have some great guests on, in-person guests as well. So I'm pumped for that. Come back and check us out here on Wednesday and Friday for some new business content. We're rocking throughout the week, what we're doing, what we're learning. We'll probably do a debrief on our irrigation job because we've got sod going in on that today. And hopefully we will get that wrapped up and get out of there so we can do a recap and talk about job costing on that show, on that job. But thank you for tuning in, guys. We will see you at Together in the Trades. You missed your ticket sales, unfortunately, on that one, but you can come next year. If you really, 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 really want to go, reach out, shoot a DM to us, to the Almonds, to the Fullertons. They may be able to get you in there. I don't know. I can't promise it, but maybe we're
totally just made that up. So, yep, maybe.
What?
I said you totally just made that up. Like you have not a clue.
Said.
Yeah.
I said just ask, but I mean, all they can do is say no. So you might as well ask. But we'll be at Equip in third week of October, LAL in November. So it's trade show event season is coming up. It's a great time of year. Everybody's in the heat of the summer right now, but keep on pushing. You'll be through it in no time, and then we'll all be together again, singing Kumbaya, growing our businesses, and getting ready for next year. So, thank you guys for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed it. Come back and join us here on Wednesday. Like I said, we'll see you on the next one. If you don't miss Wednesday and Friday, if you don't come back Wednesday and Friday show, we'll see you on Monday for another Marriage Monday. Thank you for tuning in, guys. That's gonna wrap this one up, and we look forward to catching everybody here on the next one.